Sorry.
Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Let us pray. God our Father and Provider, you who created and formed the world and all it contains, in your image and goodness, you loved and formed man, giving him responsibility and authority over all that you have made. Support us now, O God, with your grace and sustain our communities, countries, and region. May we acknowledge you as the source of all good things and giver of salvation in and through Jesus, your living word. Today, as we gather together, both in person and online, fill us with that gratitude for life, health, intellect, capacity, and skill. May we who represent the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States be filled with your Holy Spirit of wisdom and counsel. And as we sit in deliberation over the next few days, give us vision, foresight, and strategy to place on the table ideas and solutions to make our communities more equitable and formidable to withstand both physical and economic shocks. Draw us closer to each other as a Caribbean community where no one is left out and all can find a place to thrive socially and economically, to build good and wholesome families. Help us to forge our future societies both through innovation and preservation of wisdom, compassion, self-donation, and openness. Now, Father, we lift up to you our leaders of the Eastern Caribbean, that they may have the fortitude and drive to deepen the integration of this space, sharing more intentionally and deeply resources and skills for a new, unified, resilient, single nation, society, and people. We make this prayer in faith and confidence, trusting in your merciful help and abiding in your presence through Jesus Christ, our Savior and Lord, who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Father. You can be seated. Your Excellency Sylvanie Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, Minister for Finance, Economic Development, Resilience, and Social Security, and representative of the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Cassany Laville, Minister for Health, Wellness, and Social Services, Honorable Kirk Humphrey, Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs of Barbados, Honorable Dr. Cassandra Williams, Minister of State in the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Social Services with special responsibility for senior security, children at risk, gender affairs, and the differently abled. Other honorable members of cabinet, both here in Dominica and those coming in from overseas, as well as those online. Ms. Limia El Tayeb, resident representative of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, to the Eastern Caribbean and Barbados. Dr. Laura Esprit, permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Social Services, other permanent secretaries, facilitators, UNDP multi-country office staff, other participants of the 16th Ministerial Development Forum for Latin America and the Caribbean PrEP meeting, Father Nigel Karam, members of the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning to all of you. We are gathered here in Dominica for a very important occasion. We are here as one united Eastern Caribbean, trying to get the things that we need done. We are often posed with challenges that we have no control over. The shocks, which can either be natural or man-made, have affected our community. And we are here as English-speaking members of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean to include Antigua and Barbuda, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and other associated members, Anguilla and British Virgin Islands, as well as our sister island, Barbados. We are here to meet in preparation for our 16th Ministerial Development Forum, which will be held in Barbados from October 30th to November 1st. This meeting aims to provide ministers of social development as well as finance and environment to collectively explore innovative approaches to address inequalities and shocks and to make social safety nets more resilient and promote inclusive economic growth. Before much ado, I would like to welcome our Honorable Minister responsible for social services, Honorable Dr. Cassandra Williams, to welcome you to our beautiful country of Dominica.
Your Excellency, Sylvanie Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, Minister of Finance, Economic Development, Resilience, and Social Security, and representative of the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Kassani Laville, Minister for Health, Wellness, and Social Services, other honorable members of Cabinet, Honorable Kirk Humphrey, Minister of People, Empowerment, and Elder Affairs of Barbados, Ms. Limia El Taib, Resident Representative of the United Nations Development Program to the Eastern Caribbean and Barbados, Dr. Laura Esprit, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Social Services, other permanent secretaries, Dr. Addis King, Coordinator of United Nations agencies and international NGOs, facilitators, UNDP multi-country office staff, other participants of the 16th Ministerial Development Forum for Latin America and the Caribbean, Father Nigel Karam, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. For those of you here from overseas, welcome to Dominica, the nature island of the Caribbean, and welcome to this important preparatory meeting. Two of the most difficult responsibilities in any meeting or ceremony, I think, believe it or not, are to give the welcome remarks and to give the vote of thanks. The welcome remarks set the tone for the entire meeting, and I feel privileged having been asked to do that. It is an honor to have you all gathered here today representing diverse perspectives, but united by our shared commitment to dialogue, cooperation, and progress. We gather not just as representatives of our respective nations, but as stewards of shared values and common goals. Our focus on social policies reflects our collective commitment to addressing the pressing challenges that impact the well-being of individuals and communities worldwide. The Government of Dominica is pleased to host this meeting. This support is a clear sign of the importance our government places on this critical issue of resilient social development as we move towards the realization of being the first climate-resilient nation in the world. I also take this opportunity to thank our trusted partner, UNDP, for your support and facilitation of the thematic sessions and beyond. The objective of today's meeting is to provide leaders of social development, environment, and finance, and senior technocrats with the opportunity and open space to exchange ideas and strategies and engage in candid discussions prior to the 16th Ministerial Development Forum for Latin America and the Caribbean. Today is our individual and collective opportunity to share, learn, and position ourselves for the Ministerial Forum, which will be held in person for the first time in our region in Barbados from October 30 to November 1. That forum will focus on addressing regional challenges such as inequality, climate vulnerability, and the resilience of social safety nets under the theme Resilience in Action, Social Policies to Navigate Uncertainties in Latin America and the Caribbean. While our entire region still has much to learn, we also have much to share on our resilience in action as we contextualize against our own recent history of catastrophic natural disasters and climate-related risks, as well as dynamic socioeconomic shifts and recovery from the global pandemic. Today we live and operate in a world with many uncertainties in which social problems such as inequality, exclusion, and the violation of rights are being intensified by critical challenges such as climate change, financing, and the digital divide. Our task in addressing these challenges requires collective cross-boundary action. Issues to be explored today will include responsiveness of social safety nets to changing dynamics and circumstances and agile adaptation to the different emerging challenges. The use of digital technology to achieve greater efficiency and effectiveness will also be discussed, as well as accessible and sustainable financing. This meeting and the forum thereafter stand as testament to our collective dedication to addressing these global challenges through diplomacy and partnership. We will engage in meaningful discussions, explore innovative solutions, and forge connections that transcend borders. The objectives of today's preparatory meetings are threefold. One, to strengthen regional collaboration, to foster dialogue among Eastern Caribbean states to ensure a synergy and, where possible, a unified approach to the Ministerial Development Forum. Two, policy development, to exchange best practices and innovative strategies to develop actionable policies that enhance social protection and resilience across the Caribbean. Three, focus on resilience, to prepare ministers to discuss and advocate for adaptive measures that address both climate change and social inequalities in the region. Today we will have 4 thematic sessions covering digitalization, climate vulnerability and social safety nets, resilience, adaptability and social protection policies, and financing. Our agenda is a bit ambitious, but I am confident that with our expertise, insight, and collaborative spirit, we will achieve outcomes that reflect our common aspirations for stability and mutual prosperity. Today is an opportunity for frank, candid, robust, and open discussion in developing and understanding social development and social protection systems that are inclusive, universal, fiscally sustainable, swift, and resilient, and how these support systems can be integrated by us all in our common sustainable, resilient development agendas. We hope to maximize the benefits of today's meetings for the Caribbean region as we prepare for the upcoming ministerial forum. We have here a unique platform to exchange ideas, challenge existing paradigms, and craft innovative solutions that can transform societies. As we engage in these discussions, let us remember that our work here extends beyond policy frameworks. It touches the lives of people we may never meet, but whose futures we have the power to influence. Thank you for your dedication and for joining us in this essential endeavor. Together, let us make meaningful strides towards a more just and compassionate world. Again, welcome to Dominica all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister, for such a warm welcome. A few years ago, maybe almost 2 years, I said a few, I met a dynamic minister from Barbados. And at that point, and I want to quote him, he says that when we talk about Latin America and the Caribbean, we seem to have a capital LA for Latin America and the Caribbean with a small c. And he vouched that the next time we meet for a forum, it should be in the Caribbean. And that is why, because of him and our UNDP rep, the 16th forum will be held in Barbados. So let me call on my friend, the Minister from Barbados, Honorable Kirk Humphrey, Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs.
Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, Sylvanie Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton. This is probably inappropriate to say, but I must say that I met the President many years ago as an outstanding, passionate social worker doing very good work. This is your area, I'm sure. Would it be nice if you could stay and share the way you shared almost 2 decades ago when we met in Trinidad? It's brilliant. The Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, Honorable Cassani Laville, Honorable Dr. Cassandra Williams, other honorable members of Cabinet here, my good friend, the Honorable Gloria Thomas from Grenada, the Honorable Iseline Phillips from St. Kitts, Miss Limia Altayab, the Res Rep of UNDP, Dr. Laura Esprit, other permanent secretaries, including my permanent secretary and my staff from Barbados, 3 of whom are here, Dr. Addis King, my very good friend, coordinator of the United Nations agencies and international NGOs, facilitators, UNDP MCO staff, other participants, Father Nigel Karam, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all. Very long list of salutations. It is my pleasure to be here in Dominica. This is my first time ever. And I'm telling you, I've been all over the Caribbean several times. This is my first time in Dominica. And I must tell you thus far, I have thoroughly enjoyed my few hours. From the greeting that I received at the airport from the protocol officer and then the police officer, and the conversation on cricket in the car, all the way to the hotel, and an experience about them pulverizing Barbados, which was not so pleasant for me. But it was a good conversation. So 17 years ago, the first ministerial forum was held. And as Dr. King just said, Barbados looks forward to hosting the next one, which will be the 16th one. And I do hope to see as many of you in Barbados while we gather to do what I think is very, very important work. And it was said that while we met a few years ago, I offered the view that, and Dr. King reminded me, that while we continue to have conversations around Latin America and the Caribbean, I did not feel that the Caribbean was properly represented in these conversations. And indeed, it was a capital L, a capital A, and a common C, and that we are not commoners. And that therefore the next meeting should be held in the region, and that we should have an opportunity to be part of that conversation. I also regretted at the time that a significant portion of our conversation as Caribbean ministers, Gloria would know, occurs in other people's countries. So we only have the opportunity really to caucus when we gather in foreign countries for meetings. And that was not good enough because we did not have the opportunity to bring a common perspective to our regional issues at these meetings. And of course, no disrespect is meant to Latin America because I think they've been very excellent partners as well. And while we share many things, there are many things on which we are different. I expressed to my staff that even though Barbados will be hosting the major meeting in October, November, and I really do hope you can make it, that this pre-meeting is probably more important even than the Barbados meeting. Because this is the one opportunity that we have, I think, to caucus and to share experiences and to come up with a common perspective and to articulate it in a way that reflects our own perspectives, our own philosophy, the things that are practical to us, and to be able to take that message forward. And so I hope that we can use this opportunity this morning to have a conversation around the important issues that affect the region. And I say so because oftentimes when we have, and I heard someone say this morning, we have to be frank, candid was the word you used, Minister. When we have these opportunities, we spend most of our time either touting our own horn for our achievements or lamenting our failures and our lack. And I think there's a space in between that this meeting must occupy, where we can now have a serious conversation around a number of serious issues to be able to do serious work. And we flew all the way to Dominica, hopefully to be able to have such a conversation. In fact, as I was driving here last night, when they told me I was in the belly of Dominica, we were in Bells. It's Bells. It was rainy. It's normally rainy. And then you could see different shades of green as we came along, even at night. This place is beautiful. And I was saying to my friend there that we should buy land. This place is gorgeous. Anyway, I am distracted. And then when we came along closer to the hotel, I think the protocol officer said, "This is Canefield Cliff." She said, "We in the cliff," or something like that. And you can see the lights by the harbor there. Oh my goodness. This place is amazing. Anyway, so we don't have the opportunity really, though, to caucus or to tell the story of how amazing the Caribbean is, how beautiful the Caribbean is, and yet how exposed and how vulnerable the Caribbean is. I also remember, they gave me notes and they're probably furious. I'm not using them as yet. But then I remember in 2017, I was not a minister then, I became a minister in 2018. We were in opposition. Those of us in politics know how that goes, right? But I remember the Prime Minister posted on his social media page, he said something to the effect that his house was flooding. His roof was gone. He was at the mercy of the hurricane. And I thought to myself, if that could be the reality for a Prime Minister, then what is the reality for all of us? You know, the regular men and women who exist in this Caribbean region, for whom, as he said when he articulated again so amazingly at the UN conference, that we're on the front line of a war we did not start. For whom, watching the world go crazy, and this love affair for fossil fuels. I used to be a minister of blue economy. So this love affair. And to watch us then have to make the most difficult cases to be able to find financing, to be able then to deal with these problems that we never caused, or to have a long conversation around loss and damage, and these conversations. I also remember at one point Dominica, like Barbados, being blacklisted at a time when y'all were still dealing with the hurricane. And I asked myself, what is the sensitivity of the world? And I feel that we must use these opportunities to tell that story, to present that side of the argument. When Limia, I've never called her by her last name until today in my life. When Limia and I were having conversations, we determined with her team and my team that the conversation should be around resilience. And we settled on resilience in action, social policies to navigate uncertainties in Latin America and the Caribbean, against the backdrop of these natural disasters that we are consistently dealing with. And I think that this conference presents for us a unique opportunity to be able to have those kinds of of conversations and to be critical and to honestly reflect on the things we've done well and the things that we haven't done as well. And I also feel, regrettably, that at many of these meetings that we attend, that there is not enough of a Caribbean presence. And then we lament that our stories are not being told. Well, who's going to tell it? If we don't show up to be present, then how are we going to be recognized? And so you see these articles, Latin America and the Caribbean, and you don't see yourself. Well, you don't see yourself because you're not there. And essentially, we have to be at the meetings. We also have to speak more. And believe me, the Caribbean has to write more. We have to document our stories. They say that until the lion is able to tell the tale of the hunter will get the glory. We have to tell the tale. And it is regrettable again that this is the case. I see it over and over again. We're not making good enough arguments. I find that the case that we must make for innovative financing is like jumping through hoops. It's very difficult for me. But we continue to do it. Barbados proposed the Bridgetown Initiative. We continue to do it. We continue to try things because we have to. But if we all do it, and if we all do it together, then we can make surely a collective difference as we go forward. I want to read some of the things so my staff, don't get very upset with me. But it is my view, very closely held to my heart, that as part of this conversation, Limia, part of this conversation must be about governance and good governance. And especially after a disaster, because that's the opportunity for things to go awry. In my opinion, Dominica has been the exemplar of good governance and epitomizes all that we should aspire to be, particularly in trying to rise after a disaster. Not only in the way that Dominica has risen, but the way that Dominica has conducted itself in its rise. It is amazing, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for your Prime Minister. I have a tremendous amount of respect for your country, and I do believe that we all can learn a lot from the way you've conducted yourselves post-Maria. The Barbados meeting will be, I think, as I said, an unparalleled opportunity for us to have those conversations. It is an exceptional platform for taking the region's voice to the World Social Summit slated for 2025. And like I said, I think it is time that we dominate the stage. You understand? I just think the time has come. We've just been too quiet. As a student, Latin American and Caribbean, I was like, where's the Caribbean? I don't see myself. Because we have to go, and I've never heard a Caribbean Prime Minister articulate on something and never felt proud to be Caribbean. I've never been at a forum and heard a Caribbean minister speak on an issue and never felt proud to be Caribbean. The only problem is that we're not speaking enough. And I do hope that we can change that. In terms of the logistical preparations, as I close, I'm pleased to advise that for the 16th Ministerial Forum, which I really hope for the third time that y'all can make it, we began planning that earnestly when we made a determination to host the conference. We're doing it at the brand new Wyndham Grand Barbados Hotel, which is extremely nice. I'm trying to lure all y'all in, which is extremely nice. And we offer additional benefits, tours and so on, complimentary, very nice things. And we must not let this opportunity pass us by. We're going to have our Latin American brothers and sisters in Barbados. We expect to be represented by, I think, 33 of the region's ministers. And it will be an amazing opportunity for us to have that conversation. On behalf of the Prime Minister of Barbados, I'm more than eager to welcome you to Barbados to participate in that conversation. And I have taken one additional day here because I have a community event, a constituency event on Sunday, regrettably, that I would like to cancel. But I have one more day here, and I hope to have that day to be able to see more of Dominica and to fall deeper in love with this amazing country and you amazing people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. Our final speaker is our Minister for Finance, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, who is representing the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit here this morning. Minister.
Thank you very much, Dr. King. Let me first recognize Her Excellency Silvani Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton. Honorable Kasani Laville, Minister for Health, Wellness and Social Services, Honorable Dr. Cassandra Williams, Minister of State in Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services, with special responsibility for senior security, children at risk, gender affairs, and the differently abled. Honorable Kirk Humphreys, Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs of Barbados. Other honorable members of Cabinet, with us Honorable Dr. Vince Henderson, Honorable Fidel Grant, and Honorable Kozia Frederick. Ms. Limia Eltiab, Resident Representative of United Nations Development Program to the Eastern Caribbean and Barbados. Dr. Laura Esprit, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services. Other Permanent Secretaries, Dr. Addis King, Coordinator of United Nations agencies and international NGOs. The facilitators, UNDP MCO staff. Other participants of the 16th Ministerial Development Forum for Latin America and the Caribbean, Father Nigel Karam, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, pleasant good morning to everyone gathered here today. I stand before you today on behalf of our esteemed Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, who deeply regrets his inability to attend this crucial gathering in preparation for the 16th Caribbean Latin America Conference. His absence is due to unavoidable circumstances, and he sends his sincerest apologies for not being able to join you here today. I want to emphasize the significance that we, as a nation, place on this meeting by highlighting the presence of our President, whose passion for the agenda being discussed here today is unparalleled. Her commitment to this cause is a testament to the importance we attach to the issues at hand. I would also like to extend a special thank you to Dr. Addis King and our co-champion, Honorable Kirk Humphreys, whose interest and dedication has been the driving force behind this gathering. It is noteworthy to mention that a few years ago, Dr. King may have been the sole minister representing our English-speaking bloc at the Ministerial Development Forum in Chile. Since then, she has made a commitment to enhance participation from our region. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for taking the time to be here, especially the ministers in attendance, and of course the UNDP resident representative and her dedicated staff. Your presence here signifies your dedication to the development and progress of our region, and we are truly grateful for your participation. As we gather here today, it is important to acknowledge the pivotal role that the UNDP plays as the main organizer of this gathering. As an English-speaking bloc, it is imperative that we come together to address our common issues and bring them into focus. The thematic areas of discussion, including digitalization, climate vulnerability and social safety nets, resilience, adaptability, and financing, are crucial for our collective growth and prosperity. It is essential that we exchange ideas, strategies, and engage in meaningful discourse to build resilience and adaptive social systems in our region. I want to express our deepest appreciation for the tremendous leadership that the UNDP has demonstrated in Dominica over the years. Since 1980, UNDP has been a trusted partner of the government of Dominica, providing invaluable support across various initiatives aimed at enhancing our nation's social and economic development. Their unwavering commitment and innovative approaches have played a pivotal role in strengthening our resilience and adaptive capacities in the face of numerous challenges. UNDP's support has been instrumental in advancing sustainable livelihoods and resilience in the Kalinago territory through projects such as the Strengthening Sustainability, Livelihoods and Resilience in the Kalinago territory, that's the SSLR. This initiative has boosted agricultural production, facilitated community reforestation, and enhanced the institutional capacities of the Kalinago Council, laying a solid foundation for sustainable development in that region. Moreover, the Dominica Development and Reconstruction Facility, that's the DDRF, implemented by the UNDP, has provided essential support to the government, offering direct cash transfers and technical assistance to implement social protection, COVID-19 response, and reconstruction programs that have benefited over 20% of the Dominican population. This assistance has been crucial in promoting inclusive growth and ensuring the well-being of our citizens during challenging times. Additionally, UNDP's involvement in the JEF UNDP Small Grants Program and gender projects and biodiversity initiatives has significantly contributed to our efforts in tackling environmental issues and promoting gender-responsive climate change resilience. Their support in areas such as data collection, capacity building, and climate adaptation actions has been pivotal in empowering vulnerable groups, including fisherfolk, women farmers, and recyclers, to build resilience and adapt to changing environmental conditions. Furthermore, UNDP's initiative is in digital transformation, including the piloting of the digital readiness assessment and the development of the National Digital Transformation Strategy have been instrumental in modernizing our systems and enhancing our digital capabilities. In light of these impactful collaborations and achievements, we are immensely grateful to UNDP's continuous dedication to supporting Dominica's development journey. Their leadership, expertise, and unwavering commitment to addressing development challenges at both regional and sub-regional levels have been invaluable, and we look forward to further. UNDP, you are more than just a program to us in Dominica and the region. We see you as a critical strategic partner in our development as a region. As we look ahead to the upcoming Ministerial Development Forum, let us leverage this opportunity to collaborate, learn from each other, and work towards a more prosperous and resilient future for us all. Together, with the support of the partners like UNDP, I am confident that we can make significant strides in achieving our shared goals of sustainable development and inclusive growth. Thank you once again for your presence and dedication to this important cause. Let us make the most of this gathering and strive towards building a better future for Latin America and the Caribbean region. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. McIntyre. We have come to an end of our opening ceremony. We have along the head of us open discussion, frank discussions. And before I end, I just want to say I forgot to tell Honorable Humphrey, we have a lot of lovely land and you are welcome to purchase some. So before we go to our break, let's all stand to allow Her Excellency, the President of Dominica, to make her exit. So we do have some refreshments, but can we please have a group photo before we get to mingle? We will break for 20 minutes. Thank you. Zymis?